We're here in the third segment. Thanks for sticking around. We're going to have a mortgage checkup for you, ask the experts, and also a rent versus own scenario. Cheryl, I know that you had a particular listing in mind that you were asking me about.
Yeah, I do. This is one of our listings in South Minneapolis at 3301 East 53rd Street. It's a small home, stucco, cute bungalow, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1 garage stall, listed for $179,900 and also available for rent for $1,300 a month. So what's a better deal?
Renting versus owning?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Miss Financial Planner?
I always prefer owning, but that's just me.
Sure. Okay. Is that a personal thing, or is that a?
Well, I mean, the numbers usually
right.
usually support owning,
Okay.
but I mean, there might be some unique cases where renting would be, more preferential from a personal standpoint,
Sure,
or lifestyle
or if
standpoint.
you don't know how long you're going to be in town. That
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
Or
Okay.
alive.
Or alive? What? Yes.
Well, you never
Very
know.
key,
Life
and
is
almost-
uncertain.
I say,
Where did that come from?
if you're not going to be around long, rent.
That is true, though. I guess.
Yeah, that's very solid advice for the mortuary real estate.
You would change
Any-
your name.
Back to rent versus own for Cheryl's 179 bungalow in South Minneapolis. I did the numbers, and with 10% down, I would be a little different with 5% down. With 10% down, your payment on a 30-year fixed, taxes and insurance, in other words, all in, is going to be about $1,090 a month. So your payment would actually be less, about $200 less. And of course, a good portion of that payment goes towards your principal every month, so you're paying yourself. All of the interest is a write-off, and with presumed 1 or 2% appreciation, very modest. And if in 5 years you sold that home, and this is including closing costs, your tax, put a tax rate of about 25%, you're going to be $39,400 richer having owned versus rent during that time, and the satisfaction of ownership. So it's pretty stark, actually. I mean, even with only 5% down, or 3, we can do 3% down. For all you listeners, you know that. You're still going to be saving $150 to $180 a month versus renting. So it's just a no-brainer. It really is.
And so this would also be a good property to consider for an investment property, because you could realize maybe $200 a month in cash flow in this scenario.
More than that.
And the tax savings.
Right.
Yeah. So if you are thinking about buying investment property or your first home, you're looking for a deal and you want to get qualified for a mortgage, figure out what you do qualify for, reach out to us at realtalktwincities.com.
Yeah, absolutely. I can do a rent versus own scenario for you if you're renting now and you're wondering, I can do that, or get you approved. Talk about either from an investment side or owner occupied, and you'd cash flow quite a bit more as an investment in this scenario. You are required to put 20% down, so your mortgage would end up being somewhere around $850 or something. So you'd probably get about $400 at least.
Wow, that's great.
And again, all the write-offs, so it's a good way to make money. Absolutely. So on our mortgage checkup for now, we mentioned previously that FHA dropped their mortgage insurance quite a bit, so that's important for anybody buying a home. Also, that 3% down is available with conventional. Yes, there's still mortgage insurance, but the benefit is it's not forever, or for the entire length of the loan for FHA. So basically, if you've got great credit and a job, of course, but a low down payment, you'll be better off with the conventional versus FHA. And I talked about rates before. As you all know, they're low. Good time for a mortgage checkup. Should I refi? Does it make sense? You can get a hold of me at realtalktwincities.com or Eric the Loan Guy on Facebook. Rates are low, and but they're volatile. So they're kind of all over the map. Part of that reason is because the European Union has started doing quantitative easing like we were doing, printing money in other words, so that's kind of shaking things up. Also internationally, a lot of terrorism going on. So long story short, if you find something you like in the refi world, you should probably lock your rate. that's kind of that.
And if you're on the fence about buying and you've been thinking you have more time.
Right. You don't, because rates are super low right now, and if they go up a point, you lose a couple $100, depending on the purchase price, but you know, a couple $100 in buying power, that's translates to 40,000 in the price. So
Right.
again, that's right. Yeah, and these are the kind of things that as experts we know off the top of our head. And in fact, in our Ask the Expert section today, we were, oh, there it is. The producer was listening. Rock and roll. All right. So in Ask the Expert, Jim from Maple Grove asks, if the parties have executed a purchase agreement but the buyer failed to include a financing contingency addendum, what happens if the buyer can't obtain financing? So I read that, I think it sunk in. What does, translate that for me?
Okay, well, first of all, what they're saying here is, this all is part of the negotiation process that we go through, especially if you are the seller. But boy, if you're the buyer, you want to make sure you're covered here. So what this is, it's an addendum that basically says if you cannot get a loan, you can cancel the purchase agreement and you can get your money back. In this case here, I would say it's not a failure on the buyer's part, but it's a failure on the agent's part. Because if the buyer needed to get a mortgage in order to qualify for the purchase, and this addendum was not included, the buyer could lose the earnest money and be held liable for the seller's losses for not closing.
Held liable, you mean they could be sued for not performing?
Exactly.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that happen? Is that, I mean, I don't know.
I've never been involved in a transaction where that form has been missed,
Oh,
thank
I
God.
see, okay.
But, obviously it must have come up if somebody's
Yeah,
asking that
yeah,
question.
I guess so,
Yeah.
maybe, I feel sorry for them. They should have been using you, Cheryl.
Yeah, and you can reach me at 612-735-0553. That's 612-735-0553. And our goal is to help you invest wisely and maximize your gain. So please call us if you are thinking about buying, selling, or refinancing.
That's right. Time for a mortgage checkup, perhaps. Eric, the loan guy, figure out if it's worth refinancing. Cheryl, I know you've got more than that one listing. We talked about that bungalow for $179 in South Minneapolis, and I know that you're listing some condos now in St. Paul. Is that right?
Yeah, we've actually got listings all over town right
Okay.
now. So finally, people are starting to put their homes on the market.
Sure.
We have a great 4-bedroom home in Matamidi, and this one is at 130 Wedgewood Drive in Matamidi. 4 beds, 4 baths, 3 garage stalls, listed for $619,900. That's going to be open Sunday from 12 to 2. And we've got a townhome in Minnetonka at 6,000 Chasewood Parkway, listed for $159,900. 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1 garage stall.
How many square foot is that place in Matamidi?
Matamidi is 4,700 square feet.
Sizable.
Good size house, yeah. Over at Cloud 9 in Minnetonka, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 2 garage spaces for $144,900. People love Cloud 9.
Yeah, they
It's right
do.
off of 169, great location. 2 listings at River Park Lofts in Lower Town, unit 415 and 706. One's at 209,900, the other 299,900. Those will both be open on Sunday from 1 to 4, so if you are downtown for the Winter Carnival festivities, stop in and see Jake and I at River Park Lofts.
So there's 2 in River Park Lofts,
Yep,
and open houses for both of them.
yep. Oh, that one's open 1 to 4.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha,
Yep.
gotcha.
So let's see, what else? Oh, North Loop, we've got a great property at Herschel Loft, 748 North 3rd Street, listed for $259,900. Corner unit, balcony, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Beautiful historic building there.
What's that building like? Is that one of the brick ones that or is it one of the more modern ones that they built up?
That is one that was built in 1915.
Oh, wow,
So
okay.
that's a condo conversion, so really a cool space there.
And how much is that one?
That one is $259,900, and Donna, you have got a couple as well.
I do. I have one in
in Plymouth, 10404, Eden Prairie, 10404 Fawns Way, and that will be open on Sunday, 1 to 3. And then I have one in Brooklyn Center on James Avenue. We just reduced the price to $140 for a 4-bedroom.
What a deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Want to hear more about that when we come back for our last segment on realtalktwincities.com.